So we've spent some time doing a bunch of surveys, and let's talk a little bit more about some of the things that were kind of covered in there, and then you'll do the assignment part, the summative part. So emotional reasons for spending too much. A lot of people have a tendency to spend too much, so we'll take a few minutes here and kind of talk about some of the reasons that can happen, or how you could find yourself moving into that even if you don't spend too much right now. The motivation behind bad money behavior, or spending too much, is oftentimes emotional. And to develop better habits, you need to determine how you feel and what's going on inside of you. And so there can be some emotional reasons that cause you to not make good money decisions. And once you recognize them and you're aware of them, that's half of it. Knowing that, this is why I spend too much. Then you can make decisions that will help you improve. So one of the reasons is love and belonging. Maybe you buy things to meet the need of feeling love. You think people will love you or like you more or want to be with you if you buy them things. Another is play and fun. If you work too much, it's all you do is work, or maybe you know someone in your family that's like this. Spending can become a substitution for fun and play in your life instead of just doing something even that's free, that's fun. You feel that shopping and buying is the fun. Another reason can be personal power. Maybe your spending is always someone else's fault, blaming other people for having to spend money. If you feel like if your life is out of control, who doesn't sometimes? Spending can create a false sense of control or power, and you can also use spending to try to get back at someone or prove something that you're trying to prove something to somebody else, or you're trying to retaliate unconsciously to get back at them. Because of this, I'm going to go spend some money, and that'll make you feel better. You can think that it's giving you a sense of freedom if you feel trapped by your circumstances in life, or a job you hate, or a bad relationship that you're in. It feels like it's something you can have choice over, and so you're feeling like you have control then, or freedom in your life. And sadness, the emotion of sadness. People that are feeling sad, national surveys say people spend about 30% more than other emotional states that you're in. If you're happy or you're feeling okay, it can be a way to kind of feel like it's filling up the sadness. So if you spend too much, or you know someone that spends too much, maybe you kind of see a little bit in that, or if you hit a point in your life, maybe those are some things for you to look at as to why maybe you're spending too much. There's kind of another thought of the different types of overspenders. So once you kind of can connect with the underlying emotional reason, then you tend to fall into one of the 5 categories. And there are others, you hear miser or tightwad, some other phrases that can kind of mean the same thing here. These are just 5 that I thought kind of covered a broad sense. So image spenders can use money to make you feel like, you have a stronger image than you do, or a better image than you do. You use money in highly visible ways. So if you're always buying for the group, or you're into wearing expensive designer clothes, you kind of want to have preferential treatment and feel that, if you look successful, you are successful. So you spend too much to look good, to work on your image. Bargain hunting spenders they're all about getting the deal. Satisfaction comes from talking the seller down. It's not always about just getting a good value. It's about the negotiation process. Compulsive shoppers use shopping as a distraction from unwanted negative feelings. So maybe you or someone that has a bunch of stuff that's not used. It still has the price tags on. It's just compulsive. It's just kind of feeling good because something negative is going on in your life, and shopping temporarily makes you feel good. Codependent spenders spend on others to win their approval or their acceptance or their love at any cost. You may rationalize your purchase because it's for someone else or for a child. You really shouldn't be spending the money, but because it's for somebody else, then it's okay to spend that money. And the last one, I don't think many of us are yet in this category, but bulimic spenders are often people that are earning a real successful, real high amounts of money, but they're not comfortable with that because maybe they grew up really poor, and so now they feel shame for having so much money, and so they're spending money just to try to get rid of it because they're so uncomfortable having money. Um, and it's easy to kind of laugh like, yeah, right, like that would be me. Um, but it all comes down to that emotion sometimes that's behind money, or the negative feelings that so many people seem to have with money. Okay, so maybe you saw yourself in there, or somebody you know, or maybe you'll find yourself in one of those feelings or situations later in your life. So what do you do to make improvements? Well, if you recognize yourself in any of those behaviors, you can change. There are lots of different ways to go about it. Here are some things to try. First is awareness. Be aware of your feelings. Be aware that maybe you see yourself as one of those things. You know how they always say you shouldn't go grocery shopping when you're hungry? Well, I mean, that's part of this. Or if you're hungry or angry or lonely or tired, that's maybe not the time to go shopping. Oh, sorry, there's my personal phone at home. um, get excited to think that you can make the change. It's empowering to think what you can accomplish when you actually have control of your money. Remember the goals that you're going to set and become passionate about meeting them. Use cash when you can. Studies show that people spend more when they are using their credit cards than when they're using cash. It's easier to swipe the card than physically hand over your money. I know that for myself. I can just hand off the credit card and buy something, but if I have cash, it's like, do I really want to spend this cash on that? And that can be a technique to try if you find yourself spending too much money. Look ahead and not behind. Look toward the future and what you want to change and what goal you're working towards than what you did last month. Oh, I always spend too much. Man, I'm never going to change. Well, nope, stop that and start thinking ahead. You know what? I'm making a change, and I have my plan, and I'm not going to do this now. I'm aware of it, and I'm going to keep looking ahead, working towards my goal. And remember that change comes from the inside. Change in behavior has to come from your emotion inside. Behavior, the way you behave, has three components: your thoughts, your feelings, and your action. And in order to change your behavior, you have to change all three. You have to think your thinking process, knowing that you can do this. You have to change the feeling, knowing that you're feeling sad and that's why you want to buy this, and really it's just a temporary fix to help you feel better. And the actions: put the item down, walk out of the store. Remember the statement from the previous movie? Your present self impacts your future self. Think of yourself 1 year from now, 5 years, 10 years from now. What do you want to say to the future you? And what changes are you willing to make now so that future you is in a better place? Change isn't easy, but it's worth it. Gaining control of your spending and budgeting and any underlying causes will be the best investment you'll ever make. Think about it. How does your money personality affect your personal financial decisions? And there's the source there if you want to read the full article of where this information came from. I don't know if any of you remember that movie. It used to be a TV show before that even. So your mission, your assignment, is you will be completing something in your ASIO Apps account, your Google Apps account. You'll see, when you log in, you'll see an assignment there, and there are, I forget if it's 3 or 4 questions that you'll be answering. And when you answer those questions, the document will expand, so you can just keep typing and answering the questions. And I want you to put serious thought and consideration into these questions. This is a kind of an assignment where there really isn't a right or wrong answer, but what you will be evaluated on, your assessment will be on showing me that you've been thinking about this and that you understand some of the things that you've heard about or read about through the different surveys and some of the discussion that we've had here.